boss, 13-4, 13-3, and 13-11. So, I mean, this is a good map for getting info. I think they're going to be comfortable, and we should see, I think, another very close series.
Yeah, I think they'd be the most likely outcome, right? You're going to have some concerns if you're getting info, though, and perhaps it's good that the veto changes up, because there is also that element of playing a team on the same game maps in so many days where they're going to have been thinking about why you beat them, about how to correct those issues. That's more of an issue for the Dust2, ancient new territory, and of course, once we get to Mirage, getting info will have that same effect if they do take it to 3, of having been thinking about why it didn't go their way last time around. So this is an interesting one. Going to be heavily contentious and marquee. Nice way to start things off. Lake destroyed here in towards Jack. Sin next to be deleted. This pistol round is ferocious, and getting info are coming out the gates hot.
Yeah, I mean, we saw M80 do very well in the pistols in that previous years against Marsborn, but this was a sticking point in that getting info match yesterday, and it looks like it might be again today. Finding those pistols, very critical in MR12, and Slacks is going to be looking for something, or maybe not. They want to save that armor, Mike. They want to save the nade. Slacks, well, he will take a fight with Shane and win it. He's continuing to just try and fade off and get these frags. So first round goes getting info's way. Very decisive take of that B site.
Yeah, to say the least. Waltz right in. And tap away. I mean, we know getting info, right? That's never in question.
Oh, yeah.
There is maybe a little bit of a question in these situations of just, is the team that's already played one series today going to come in a little more warmer? Obviously, that pistol round goes a long way to not really making that a worry. It's pretty late in the day. These guys, I'm sure, have gotten whatever warm-up they need, and getting info are coming in hot to trot. You can imagine they were also watching that previous game. If there's anything from M80 that they'd like to exploit here. That's a weird bounce. Slow down Sin for the moment, but here's the aggression. Outside a cave player in the corner. Hex will eventually get stopped. I think they want to back away from this. Swisher trying to fight with his teammates. Snap just trying to stay alive as they spam through. Lake out of play. Advantage getting info.
I think one thing that really stymied M80 yesterday was getting info slow pace to their T rounds, and they got caught a little bit off in terms of some of the pushes that they were making, and here they will manage to get one back on Dare. It's just the concern again, the spacing has to be good when you're going for those aggressive plays. You have to ensure that at least a trade's going to come through. You don't lose one for free, and it hasn't been that bad in this round as they even out the numbers. And of course, given the buy-up, it makes sense to be a little riskier here. But still, it's something to keep an eye on as this series goes on.
Smoke over. Here comes getting info. We'll take one heck of an effort from Slack to do much of anything about this. And so instead, he will withdraw. Probably the smarter option here. Gonna allow him to play with his teammates, and getting info, taking their time with this. This is a hallmark of getting info. You tend to take their time. Sin somehow connects on that 5-7. But Swisher not quite on the same page with his teammates. And Snab, despite the low HP, able to get the first shot onto the dome of Swish. Means that getting info, maybe get rumbled in the second round, but managed to prevail.
I mean, look, that's good for M80 to at least keep their economy honest, right? Force up a couple of buy-ups into this next round. But as it stands, fairly comfortable for getting info outside of that. So, M80. Just going to go with the upgraded pistols into this one. 3 5.7s, 2 Deagles. No armor except for Lake, who's on body armor only. So M80 pick up rounds like this off of the Deagles.
We have. They're being well handled, though, so far. Utility to push them out of the cave. flush them back towards site. They do have the numbers here, and at least for the moment, getting info don't have any second options. No vision in towards mid, no vision in towards B. I think they've only really seen Swisher, so don't necessarily know how gnarly this is. Sin, Bell run makes this a lot easier, and while the players are forced forward, Slump is taken out of play, but that was just the MAC-10. Nothing catastrophic. Slax is going to try and get lucky here, but instead it's spam back the other way through the cave panel. That takes the fangs out of this one. Well done from Dare. Make sure the flank's not coming through. And that's the way the cookie crumbles for M80.
All right. Well, getting info looked just as sharp as yesterday, as we would expect, but let's wait to pass judgment until we actually see those gun rounds come through. Let's see what M80 have in store here on their CT side. I'm going to explode. Yeah, just very methodical from getting info, and that's the type of calling that Snav has been making for quite some time, regardless of the squad he's been on. But of course, Shane, very familiar with the way he likes to call, so having him rejoin this getting info squad was like putting on an old glove. Everything nice and snug as they get going here. 4th round of play.
What kind of a glove would he be?
That's a good question. I don't know.
The fun thing is, I know our heads went to different places, where I was thinking like winter gloves, driving gloves, and you were thinking Counter-Strike.
Yes, I was.
Yeah, he'd be a Vice Glove mint.
I was absolutely thinking that.
Well, they're thinking, oh my goodness, we've just been deleted through these smokes. Lineup's good for M80. You can imagine this bomb will still get planted, but it might be tough to hold on. After that, through the smoke they go. Good trade. And it all falls to Slump, tucked in the corner. At least those numbers are ticking away. And M80, expecting the presence in A main, might have now got themselves into serious trouble. Slump, that's a hell of a shot. Can he bring this through? Found a little bit of gumption in matchups previously in this qualifier. That would be a hell of a time for it, but Slacks on the angle will not be missing, and there's plenty of time to get this bomb defused.
Wow, though, Slump. You know, we saw him yesterday, as you mentioned, you know, was a key piece for this getting info squad on multiple occasions, had those individual efforts that came through, and right there, it felt like something was materializing again for him, and M80 lose a couple of bodies, then they slow it down and say, hold on a second. We have to make sure this guy's done. We cannot be careless. And they do fantastic work. Slacks in particular with the shot onto him. Takes care of him without him being any further threat. There's M80's first round on the board. Talked about that first gun round being important for them. And they do find it. Timeout called immediately by getting info to talk things over. They didn't like something that happened that previous round. They get the bomb plant though. And that will lead to a relatively strong buy into this next round.
Yeah, they're comfortable. Op out for Slump's going to be interesting to see how he wants to deploy it. I don't even know that they can be that frustrated about what happened in the last round. I mean, 2 players died through smokes. So, a little bit of unluck, shall we say. Still, they might want to change up the pace. That was much quicker than we're used to seeing getting info. They tend to like these later execs, occasionally upping the tempo to keep everybody honest. Heavy mid presence early for M80 and actually getting info or going right back to it. They're going right back to the A take. And M80 did not expect him to repeat. A pop this time around though. Shane left in the open. Fortunate not to get checked there. You don't want to stall out. You don't want to let these smokes fade. Lake knows his lineups. Knows where they like to plant. That's trouble on. Nade pop. Again, these smokes are going to fade. These smokes are going to fade. Refresh both of these choke points. So this is the depth of utility coming into play here, getting info, but they still don't have the plant. Here's wary about the spam as well. He should be, because Swisher comes right back to it. Are you going to do it again? This time, I think he's finally found a spot.
Jeez.
Where the bullet won't immediately chase him out. But now the smokes are gone. Now it's the retake on. Everybody defending from the same position. Good start for Swisher. Here's Snav. Trying to swing in, but doesn't catch the first donut player, so he'll slink into Temple instead. Back out immediately. They're so focused on donut that Lake is now starting to make his move around. Hex, big kill. Snav trying to go for the wrap. Here's going to be that tap. It's that same spam angle they were on before. Can Snav get here in time? No, because Slacks is ready. Deagle in hand.
Wow, these retakes are looking really good on the M80 side. Getting info had all the positioning. Util was up. Post plant was strong, but they continued to chip away at them. Lake with a great 2K to bring them back into that bomb site. And at the end, they isolate the last player and get that defusal pretty comfortably. So M80, this is the look that we were expecting to see yesterday against Getting Info and did not receive. Now, they have the answer to the squad that defeated them in their first sweep to get to this grand final. Hex going to get the opener onto Dare. This should be a more controlled round for M80, given that they're only going up against the pistols and no armor except for Markey. There's a nade. Slump eats it down to 31. And Slacks continues to wait for targets.
It is the other side of the coin we're talking about with M80. They're Eagles. Getting Info certainly are as well. The Tech 9's here. Not as ideal, perhaps, but both these squads going to be one where you cannot take the ecos lightly. No free rounds here. And you can tell from M80. We're praising it in their Marsborn matchup.
Yeah.
They're diligent against these ecos.
They have been bitten by them very many times in the past. So yeah, they respect them a lot more now.
Here comes the player. Pistol spotted. First one down. Swinging on out. 2 for 1. That's fine. Nothing catastrophic and full control for Slacks.
Yeah, very nice. Nice little sequence for Slacks, despite it being an anti-eco.
He's heating up nicely here early.
I mean, he's been the hot player. He's been at the top for M80 in every single series. Yes, he's maybe had 1 or 2 maps where he's been slightly off, but it always feels like he's had a big round, at least 1 or even 2 on all of those maps.
And I mean, even his slightly off games are still very much impactful.
Exactly.
It really has been the start that they require of him. A lot of this team, their intentions are to set up Slack for what he wants to do, for how he wants to play with that AWP, but Sin is going to encounter the op of the other side as Slump starts to have his impact. And it is one of the very exciting things about this Getting Info roster. We've seen Slump before at this level of play, but this is by far the strongest team he's had around him. And we, as a region, starved for ops, are hungry to see if Slump can provide.
And he is that dynamic, exciting offer that we love to see pop off. That's a great flash. Lake's going to get a couple off of it and then gets traded, but it does even out the numbers.
Still a massive maneuver to recover the man disadvantage. Make this a lot more comfortable for Slacks. They are taking the space, though. Slacks, does he realize one's past him? Now he does. Whoop. Definitely didn't know before that peak. Fortunately for him, unpunished. And the bomb still hasn't crossed. If he holds this angle, I mean, there's one flashbang. But the problem is he's wary of the walkthrough, and well, he should be. Look at who's in the smoke. It's a 1 Snav. If he takes a fight, goes long, you know Snav's going to swing. That's exactly what he's anticipating, but he still can't get the shot. Had the idea, had the inkling. Didn't have the kill. 20 seconds. They know as soon as the bomb gets planted, one of these sets of hands is occupied. But only for a moment, and that moment passes. Getting out of this choke. Flashbang to try and do it, but a kill before they make the move would make life a lot easier. So they're hoping someone Getting Info overextends. So that's the smoke. Yeah, intentional. Gives them space to actually lurk out. Gives them some room to rumble, and Hex takes advantage. Oh, the chase down. Shane saves his teammate. Massive move from Shane. The post plant could have collapsed there, but now Shane's already bought enough time, and out of bullets is Hexed and out of the round.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that smoke. I get it. You know, you cover off space and you can get out without worrying about Cubby, but you're also exposing yourself to potentially the front fight where you don't actually know where they're going to be, and if you pop out at the wrong time, you're done. But they did try to flash out. To their credit, it's not terrible. I just think it would have been better to try and isolate an angle, although I do understand there are just so many in that situation. You just want to try to find some space out. Anyway, timeout going to be called here. 4-3 for getting info. Great take of that site. And I really appreciate Snav, his positioning there, waiting in the smoke, and the wariness of Slacks. The fact that he was constantly having to worry about Snav without Snav even making a move is beneficial for getting info. And eventually, because Slacks can't post up on that angle comfortably, the other two players are able to get through. Sure, he gets one shot off, but it's not the one he wanted, and it would have been way better had he just waited there. Eventually, Snav goes through, and while Slacks is expecting it, it's so difficult up close and personal with the op up against a rifle, especially in CS2 on those swings. So, getting info strike back. Economy is still good for M80.
Good-ish.
Maybe a technical timeout here.
It is indeed. Seems like we're getting a little bit of a connection issue, but hopefully will be resolved rather quick. There's going to be limitations here for Swisher. Might just stick onto the USB, to be quite frank. Not much available for him, but otherwise A-okay. As we know from Shop in the last series, sometimes all you have to do is find a gun on the ground to make your day. I think that last round was a nice example of one of the things that makes getting info so dangerous is their fearlessness to press the angle, to press the gap, right? Yep. Snav making his way on out. He gains the angle. Slacks actually realizes he's there, but Snav, even though he kind of knows that Slacks knows, is just not at all tamed in terms of taking that next fight, taking that angle, taking that next peak. And so they are just relentless in how much territory they'll seize from you if you don't find the kills.
I think that's honestly always been their strength. It's just that over the last 2 years, they've not only got that aggressiveness that works out to them, but they've developed a strap book around it, or Snav has, and they've also been more patient. They're not going for aggressive force buys. They're actually being respectful of their economy, and it's really added this second dimension, even third dimension, to this getting info core that was lacking before, and that's what's really helped them grow and compete against teams like M80.
I hear typing.
I do too.
That's often a good sign. Graffiti on the ground. Gotta enjoy that major graffiti while it still lasts. Which, at the rate that Valve takes things out of the game, will be another 3 to 4 months. Just in time for the next major.
Yeah, it did take until the next major.
Although they have the season update coming.
I don't.
Season 2 is over. So maybe they'll remove it with Season 3 coming in. That said, stickers haven't gone on sale yet, have they, John?
No, they haven't, so that's why I don't think so, Mike.
Yeah. It'll be a minute yet, but that's okay. I like my little graffitis.
That's cool.
Did you get any good highlight charms?
I've only gotten one so far. It was the peekaboo one. I think it was Apex.
Very fun.
It's
Snav, peeking a booing. And taking space towards Jack. All boosted up. I mean, they're going to rock right in towards B. Reinforcements are coming as Hex. And Slacks, that's good damage, but no kill. Would have loved to have that 3 HP. He limps by, but the flashbangs are so good that Sin just never gets vision at this point. Slacks might want to get out of there. Unless Hex invites them back in. Health is low. They don't have kits. This is going to be the temptation, but this is going to be a very risky retake if this bomb actually does get planted.
They have an incendiary and a smoke, but I don't feel like that's enough with the HP bars where they are.
Unless...
unless that happens!
Put a shot through the pillar. Now that's going to require at least one of these players to make their way out of cave. And because that bomb didn't go down just yet, this becomes quite difficult for getting info. I like pressing the issue here for Dare. There's the flashbang, but vision stays clear for Hacks, and despite the low HP, now you got Snav with a MAC-10. I mean, that MAC-10's a lot more effective when you guys are below half. But first bullet will just about win this. Hex starts the spray. And Slacks.
1 HP.
Three. Oh, no. No health to spare. First shot wins it. And Snav will swing.
Ah, man, Snav always impresses me in those 1vx situations, and that round is no exception. Continue to take the fight. We could have been tempted to go for the AK, right, and grab it off the ground, but instead he says, no, I think some of that damage is confirmed, a lot of it. I'm going to try for the MAC-10 because that is the best weapon to go running, gunning with, and of course, connecting on a little bit of damage, which is all he needed.
Fearless.
Jeez. That it is, and we just highlighted that, right?
It's, yeah, exactly what we talked about. He is fearless. M80. Be a little frustrated with how close they got that, considering it was a tough position to begin with. Now they go 5 players down middle. 5 USPs. They're going to be able to catch anyone off. Marky, first victim. Slum trying to duck out of here. Marky, meanwhile, is farming up. That's a nice kill from Hack. Stink on the next. I mean, nifty bit of USP damage.
Yeah.
But mostly it's just a chance for Marky to make some money.
It's a great stabilization from Marky as well. Oftentimes in those situations, those pistols can get overwhelming and you have to hit your shots precisely, and Marky does exactly that. He's just that veteran pillar that Getting Info have. So when the craziness doesn't go right, Marky's there to take care of business. 6-3 for Getting Info. M80 want to get aggressive down mid, very typical of the meta in Ancient right now. It doesn't work out for them in the opening duel, but Lake gets a quick trade, and that will push Getting Info back.
Not the worst thing in the world to deny that mid information. Somewhat worth the 1v1, or 1-for-1 rather. But in Getting Info, they're not slowed down by this. Putting the presence in towards A main. These were the early ideas. The first few rounds headed this direction. They're just leaving Marky as his own autonomous unit. Doing what he can to hold presence here towards B. Slacks taking control in towards Donut. If they're just contacts this, I mean, Slacks could be back turned. That's exactly what he's doing. If the smoke comes out, he'll know. Slacks gets a tickle. An inkling that it could be coming his way. The Spidey sense strikes at the right time. Now they find Marky. Now they've got a very good idea for what's coming next. Op peeks around. It's all on to Shane. First hurdle overcome. That'll allow him the chance to at least secure bomb money. Wants to push in towards Donut, but a flashbang catches him right in the eyes. He's burning. Lake doesn't know it, or Sin rather, but that was the best chance to put Shane away. Fortunately for him, it will be Lake to sweep out of the temple and make sure there are no further casualties to Shane.
Well, that's just the Spidey sense tingling for Slacks, honestly, as he turns around there and checks the site. There was no reason for him to do that other than timing and saying, okay, this is weird. No one's towards mid. No one's coming in to put pressure on Donut from that side. Let's check the other end, and absolutely connects on an opening frag for himself anyway. And that really does make things tougher for Getting Info. Yes, they get the bomb plant, but after that, it's M80 toppling them over. Now the economy swings in the other direction. Very back and forth first half here. Very well ending the tied scoreline. Getting Info pulled off some crazy round victory. We did yesterday up against M80. Dare gets one, like the trade though again.
And like the second. That is another Getting Info classic is make your way through the smoke. Wait till you think they've moved away, and then try the same angle again. Slum. Shows why it can be quite effective indeed. That's a hell of a dig shot. Oh, from the young gun.
And there are guns down now.
There are. Salvageable ones at that, and M80 have to spread out this defense. Big trouble for little M80. Flax wants to get some looks in towards middle. Ooh, yep, okay. Did he not see?
I don't know.
I mean, definitely not, based on the positioning. Thought he got a little bit of vision there on the bomb carrier. Here's the question. Do they realize... Because it's Marky, Marky's almost always on his own. They clearly do not realize that in time. 20 seconds on the clock. There's still no armor for these players. And that will cause slump. Team punch. It's a brutal thing. Good trade from Swisher. Still, getting a bomb plant out of this, getting 3 kills out of this, it's pretty successful for an eco round from getting info.
Yeah, they've been getting bomb plants fairly consistently throughout the entirety of this half, and I mean, they find another one there, losing effort, but still, as you mentioned, it's going to help them out. They're going to get a full buy-up off of it, heading into this final round of play, and that one even felt winnable for certain moments because of the firepower that was on the ground. The only problem is, as you highlighted, the fact that there was aim punch, no armor available on getting info, ended up being a difference maker. Now, will they walk into the second half with a lead, or do we get a tied scoreline? Okay, still up here on the M80 side. That'll bolster their defense. Everyone else has the M4s, and of course the AWP in Flax's hands. Sin with that AK. Crazy plays up against getting info. He was hot in a losing effort, but man, that ace that came through on Mirage, multiple 3Ks, 4Ks in the mix. He was a monster. Air burst incendiary there.
That's not ideal.
Not gonna help. Nope.
We're starting to get a little depleted on the util here. Slack's looking for just a sliver of a peek. But she disassembles it. Don't want to keep Sin stationary for too long. Spam up. Spam down. Getting info have decided they do not have the appetite for B. In that same moment, Slacks has taken vision. Oh, and he's pushing all the way into spawn. This is getting interesting. He's going for the full flank with the AWP, and meanwhile, M80 are bringing the numbers to bear on the A side of the map. They're going to have Swisher play contain. Lake. Spotted a pixel. Gets that smoke down at the right time. There's only 25 seconds. They've got to go through this. They just don't have a choice. That flank creeps ever closer. Here come the flashes. They're good, but Lake's better. And now Hex can shut this down. It's over. There's just not enough time for Slump to even really attempt this. The trade is there. We are tied up. Second half kicks off, and we are all tied up. M80 on the T side now. What can getting info bring to bear here, John?
I mean, look, their T side was their point of strength against M80 multiple times, and now it's been neutered a little bit because M80 came to life and were able to tie things up when it looked a little dire. Now getting info, going to their CT end. Looking at the numbers, it's actually their better side here on Ancient. 58.5% win percentage. They've got the firepower, we know that. Plus, pistol rounds have been really good for them.
Look at this route. 3 players jumping across the angle, knowing heavy presence coming, but maybe they didn't expect all 3. Slump, one-man wrecking crew. But now he's out of play, so it'll have to fall to Snav and Shane to get this done. Swisher activating at the right time. It falls to Snav. He's been spotted. Position revealed. Swisher tight to the angle. Nice idea to isolate the fight for Snav, but it's all about the headshots in the pistol rounds, and it's M80 who's got him.
That's wild. I thought that getting info, we're going to get that one after Slump nails 3 to the ground, but no. Recovery from M80 afterwards. And a 7th picked up. That is nice to see for M80, given the fact that, they had some really good pistol rounds in the previous series. Yesterday was a struggle, but it looks like they're in better form in general today. That set getting info, just as good. Swisher. That Molotov out. The pressure on. Getting info, gambling towards B, and it's the right side. Man, they just 8 on 8. Snav and Slump get the brunt of it. Oh, opening frag for Dare, in fact, even though they're taking so much damage, and he gets a second, Mike. Okay.
There's no real health to spare. I was going to wonder if M80 got spooked, but they find the kills at just the right moment. Starting to get very nervy there. That would require them to leave the guns, perhaps. Hatched. Make sure this one's not going to get out of hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
A little scary, right? When Dare gets those two.
That was starting to get interesting.
Indeed.
That's
That's all it got. Yeah.
But now the guns are out here, John. And they put M80 on notice in the last round, so it's not a full bonus round, though they still the SMG out. The op for Slump. Glass cannon at that. He's been impressing on this map of Ancient. See if he continues into the second half. Marty will not be. Tries to brave the Molotov and flash and gets absolutely erased, sidling up for the window peak. But there's Slump.
Okay.
Aggro down the ramp, testing his own Molotov. Dare now back of Donut. Finds the first, though Lake, feet on fire, will be able to carry this through. Snav's tucked on the corner. Lake trying to back out, and that's the wrong moment. Wanted to get the util set up, didn't anticipate the aggressive move. Bomb down, but Slump continues hunting, never satisfied. And that glass cannon op, we were wondering if that'd be a problem. Well, they didn't touch him, John.
I was about to criticize it. Good thing I didn't. Because, wow, 3K coming through for Slump. I think it's a lot harder to glass cannon in CS2 because of that peeker's advantage, even though it's a lot slighter than it was when CS2 first released. It's still there. And when those rifles come bearing down on you, one shot and your aim is just jostled around, and it's hard to connect on anything. But if you're not getting hit at all, it doesn't matter. Slump 3 clean shots coming out of the barrel of his AWP. And that means that getting info are able to get themselves the first round of the board here in this second half. Not to mention, because of the damage did in the previous one, M80 decided to go for an eco. Even though it's kind of conservative, they do have Lake on the AK. Tech 9, Deagle, a P250, armor only for Lake, so he's the raid boss. Getting info we need to focus on. Marky down. Good trade from Swish.
Gun retrievable as well. Now it's coming back to try and bodyguard it. Dare deleted. A is compromised. An extra gun's going to be picked up en route, and they're in trouble.
We're still here.
There's not a smoke, which does make this more challenging, but the box will provide cover. Now with that bomb planted. In post. Slump can't catch that first shot. commit into this, toying with them, buying time, dancing, knowing that it's just a Glock, but every second that Sin can buy to set up his rifles is going to be critical. Time's becoming a huge issue, and Sin with the Glock, dancing around the box, eventually finds that headshot, just ring around the rosy, and they could not find him at all. That's a disaster. That's an absolute disaster for getting info. All the early momentum in the half has now been stymied.
Yeah, the air has been let out of the balloon pretty much there. Oh my goodness. M80 coming through with only the hero AK, right? It was Lake, but it actually wasn't the AK that rung true first. It was Swisher getting the trade off the Tech 9 when one of the pistol players fell. And then the swing around, it's Lake to catch the donut player. After that, they go right into that A site, don't face much resistance. But on the retake, Sin with only the Glock dancing around the box, able to connect for a frag. Hold on a second, though. Getting info, we know they can be good with these pistols. There's the opener from Snap. Maybe they can do the same.
Maybe. Nate to chase, but he's away. Unable to get the gun. That's the only problem. But it's a nice way to at least put M80 on notice. They almost made it happen the last time they had just pistols. Well, that time it was ESPs. Trying to play Battleship. Ah, I actually did catch the heel of Lake.
Okay.
Well, he's not going to sink the destroyer, but a little bit of damage. A dare with vision out this smoke.
It's actually a really good position to hold because if the smoke comes in, you'll block it every time.
The problem is because he actually got that information, he thinks it's a fake, and it's not. That first smoke indicated, now they throw the second, that's actually baited the presence off the site, as getting info wanted to try and stack towards the other. So now this bomb is going down. I mean, there's nothing to risk but a retake. Problem is they're so out of position here, John. They don't have the kit, of course.
Yeah.
Time is not their friend. Might be best to go for exits.
And at the same time, these pistols do have some value for them. It's one less thing to buy in the next round. But they're still going to fight. They want to try and damage the economy of M80. Can't blame them.
The risk-reward here is all reward.
Yeah.
Just don't have the chance to actually try and win this round. Damage matters. Nice gun. And they will, but everyone dies to the bomb. Expensive round. You can say that at the very least.
Yeah, that bomb is ruthless on Ancient. You got to get very far away. And they could not get out of its reach. Only one player surviving. But yes, very expensive round coming through for M80. But they had the money to absorb it, so they don't mind. They've actually still got to buy up in the bank. Maybe Lake doesn't, but that's perfectly fine. M80 happy to be on a bit of a string of round victories here. 10-7 in their favor. Here comes a gun round for getting info. Money, much more of a concern on their side. They would have loved to walk away with a couple of rifles. They just didn't have the opportunity to capitalize off those frags. Grab the guns. Dare. Waiting in the smoke. There's time to either pop out or just convince M80 no one's here. The smoke does fade, and he's just going to wait in red room. No aggression down mid's a little surprising, honestly, for getting info. I thought they would. Their util is so bad. A smoke and an incendiary with 1 minute left on the clock. And on the other side, M80, it's not great, but much better situation.
That's unfortunate timing for Snav. Thought he found the moment to take the space, get the information. Instead, finds the bullet from Swisher's gun. That was a pure lineup. Nicely done from Dare. Catching the window player.
25 seconds left.
Time is a serious issue here. The bomb's not really committed any which way. They're going to go towards B with it. But look at this spread. I mean, now they're going to hear Hex backing off. That's
you guys can't go
Marky.
slow. 14 seconds.
They got to go now. That's a massive kill. That's what they were waiting for with Slacks on the cross. Kill had to come in. They don't have time. They don't have time. That's going to be the round. Hex just has to live.
Yeah, M80 took way too much time trying to secure middle there. They had 1, 2, I think even 3 smokes were recycled for mid. Like at that point, just make a decision and go somewhere.
I think
by the time they do...
I think they didn't account for the second player over towards B. So once Slacks got the one in the back line, he didn't spot the second. They thought they'd have the clear path towards plant, but because of the second number there, that's what thwarts them.
Yeah, but they should have given themselves more time. Honestly, they had the ability to do it, and I think that's the biggest issue. Because in that situation, even though there is a second player that didn't account for, you can recover if you have, let's say, 20 seconds left on the clock versus only 10. All right, you can take more time, be like, okay, is someone there? Can we clear it out? Instead, you're both panicking, trying to gain that space and make it clear for the bomb, and, you know, pressure's on. You just can't deliver under those circumstances. So Round swings the way of getting info. They do still have to settle for an MP9 in this round, but they got an AK from the previous, an AWP, and 2 A1Ss on the other side. There's still enough money, as I mentioned, for M80 to get a buy up here, but their money has now run dry. Is he going to get this? He's got a pretty clean sight of Marky, but Marky managed to duck away and only take a little bit of damage.
Snav's taking up the position as well. Swisher withdraws, so for the moment, this skirmish doesn't lead to any casualties, but it does lead to a lot of information for Snav. Surprise actually dares backing away from this. They had the stack assembled on A, but they're going to put their faith in Slump. So far, it's been a good bet. They're going to see if he can continue to lock things down. Minute on the clock, and as I say that, Swisher's re-entrying in towards B main, taking some space. Shane and Snav getting active on the other side. There's the punish on the one, spot on the second. They've only seen Swisher, though. So that's going to cause them to stack up the numbers here. And out towards A, Slump on the angle. Plucks Hexed. So a late rotation seems like it might just be the ticket again here for M80. Bomb still committed, though. Slump burning. Crossed, but tagged. And they want nothing to do with this. They're backing away. They have got Lake through middle. But 25 seconds.
There's no time to go T-spawn to B.
He's seen him. He's seen him. He's waiting for Shane to go for this peek, but there's a player from CT. And so laser focused, so tunnel vision on the player back B, that this is just going to have to be a save.
Yeah, I feel like it was always going to be a save, even if something happens there, because both players were back towards T-spawn. Maybe they can just sprint to B from mid, but even then,
yeah,
it would have been very close. That's just a little bit of, I don't want to say clock mismanagement there for M80, because getting in for rebuffing them very effectively and forcing M80 off of their initial plan to go to A, but there was a moment of hesitation. We saw them with 40 seconds left. They turned around like, oh, okay, let's fade off. But then they realized, wait, we have no map control. We have no ability to fade off. So they try to go back into A. They lose another player. At least there was a tag on from Slump, and yeah, by that point, it's over again. So a couple of rounds in a row where M80 need to be a little better on their management of the clock. Did save a couple of guns and they forced up around them, which makes sense given the loss bonus. Lake's just trying to run out. Gains the space pretty much for free.
A little singed for it.
Yeah,
they're already
got the smoke for Donut. Yeah,
much faster.
Actually...
Slump could be in danger. Shane's gone. Slump can't connect the shot. Now they're in danger. This is going to be a bomb plant. This is going to be Slump out of play. Sin in their face. Dynamic with it. And, I mean, for getting info, this could be a save.
It should be a save. There's no reason for them to fight back in with the positioning that they have. 2 players bunched up in red room, 1 into the A site. I mean, Dare looks like he has 0 interest in going back to B.
Yeah.
So he's posturing for the save. The rest of them will eventually as well. And that is the round. That's just M80 simplifying things, sending one player straight in towards B, sees that the coast is clear, then someone tries to retake that space. I believe it was Shane. He goes down, Slump misses his shot, and by that point, it's done.
Curious to see how they're going to deploy double ops here on the T side. Don't look a gift op in the mouth, but it's going to be somewhat challenging. The faster play works out for M80, still with the save guns, and save basically full belts of utility as well. Getting info will be fine to buy into this one. No op. That's not ideal.
No.
Slump's been very good with it, 19 and 16 so far. Maybe not complete domination, but strong effort.
Same from Slacks. I think they've both been good going toe-to-toe, but Slacks has a better supporting squad around him right now than getting info.
Fast play down middle. Looking for more of a brawl here. Nice nade, but Lake able to catch one. There's the trades. 2 for 2. A lot of utility spent from getting info. It's about even in the skirmish, but this kill could tip it one way or another. And it is Swisher to eventually line up the last. 2-on-2. All the time in the world to play with, and Dare's getting active. Could catch Slacks off guard. When does he want to activate here, John? Oh boy. Slacks is kind of looking for it.
Something. Yeah.
So it all falls to Shane, and here's the thing. This would be map point M80, and this would be all the money gone for getting info.
Yeah, it's worst case scenario if they lose the round. It's not out of the realm of possibility yet, but I love the patience from Slacks there, just waiting and waiting, seeing if someone will get aggressive there, and they do. He catches them off, going around that corner, fully expecting that push to be there. And now you have a 2v1. Shane gambles towards the A side. It's not correct. And I just feel like, I don't know, you know, you can try to go for the 1v2, but obviously he's looking for guns instead and utility. It's going to be so important to have this gun. Like, their money is so shot.
It is.
But he wants to go for the hero play.
It keeps them fighting. Would be the salvation. I mean, Toby goes off the bomb, but no such luck, no such fortune. Swisher seals the kill. M80 get 3 cracks at closing this map of Ancient.
Honestly, I think what pulled him in was grabbing the smoke. As soon as he finds the smoke, he's like, oh, this is interesting. Maybe I can slip onto the site. Like you said, Mike, maybe they won't be watching. I get on there, throw the smoke, go for the stick, and perhaps the hero play comes through. As a result, they have 1 less M4 into this round. Could have been 2. Could have been 2 M4s, 2 MP9s, a 5.7. You're looking at a much better buy. Instead, it's 2 pistols, 2 MP9s, and then loading A1S. Goes hunting, great flashbang thrown, but he can't capitalize off it. Only damage onto Dare, and he fades back through the smoke as quickly as he went through it, but Snap comes through himself and gets a couple. Swisher and Sin fall. Lake does manage to collect 1, but only 1. Slacks on the other side is making it work towards B, but they're losing bodies are M80, so they have to go fast.
That was such a critical kill from Slacks because it keeps them from getting put in the killing field of these players coming up window. Still going to be challenging in the post plant. Hex is trying to see if anybody slipped back in towards CT. As Slacks finds his way into cave. It's a nice, fast shot. The one anticipates where the next are coming from, and Slacks just continues to pluck them out of play. Dare, 1v2. What have you got for us? No time to spare, and no misses from the barrel of Slacks' op. 24 kills in sum total, and the 13 rounds required for M80 to once again take the map pick of getting info.
Wow, I think it's the same scoreline as was in Mirage as well. Unbelievable stuff coming through from been strong against every single opponent they've faced on their attacking end. It's just the defense that becomes a question mark.
It is. It certainly is. And you know M80 are looking to correct a record on that one because they've got to be super frustrated about how things went last night, about how that loss wound up coming through. Because you're absolutely right. I mean, it was across 2 maps, right, where they were in positions where they probably should have been able to close and were unable to. So we'll see if they can set the record straight or if getting info once again will upend this script. They know the prize that's on the line. They're thinking, hey, you've gone to Pro League 4 times. What have you done with it? Not that much. It's our turn. They've actually had some great results.
They've done a lot. Yeah.
They've made playoffs at times. And had some of their best international forays. Swisher met his new fiancée there at a Pro League, actually.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, just got engaged to someone he met in Malta
saw that,
while they were at
yeah.
a Pro League.
Didn't know they met Pro League. That's cool.
She was not there for Pro League. But sometimes things work out. Sin, nice shot. Gonna get them a bomb plant. Most likely, if they can get past the doors, and they can indeed. The Slump may want to invite himself in. What a shot out from Slump. Now it's going to have to be the shooting. And Swisher is just keeping his crosshair in the right spot. So no bomb plant, but I think M80 will be okay with that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Swisher just holding the angle the whole time, and no one decided to go window for getting in. They were hoping to overload through that door, but the minute they stepped in there, Swisher's like, hello, I got a bullet for you. 3 times in a row. So, M80 get the opening pistol round again, as they did yesterday here on Dust2. Getting info will not force up. They are not apt to do so on their CT sides. They usually do go for the eco after losing pistol. And while looking towards the B site briefly, it feels like 4 of the 5 players will lean back in towards A. A-sided gamble, and it's the right one, Mike.
It is. We saw them almost bring through one of these rounds on an Ancient.
Mm-hmm.
See if they can finish it off this time. Or at least cause as many problems. Call this the grain stack. They're looking to make bread. Oh, peeking out with a Molotov. Not ideal. Look at the damage once again, just off of these USBs. That nade might find home. Not yet. And, well, you've got the better weaponry for these engagements. The health is getting whittled away. There's a P250 on the other side. Oh, whoa. Lake looking for the player to wrap through. Gets peeked on high, and they are really committed to fighting out this stack, and they will be able to do so. But look at those HP bars.
4 players limping along like, we did it. It took a few shots to the arm and the chest, but we got it. Oh, goodness me. M80, get that second, but getting info make it exciting regardless. Only 1 frag, but it felt for several moments like more could funnel in. 3rd round of play. Here comes the buyout for getting info. Slump with the AWP was very effective on Ancient in that losing effort. Wants to be part of a winning one now, and what better map to show your stuff with the AWP than Dust2?
Tag on the ankle, and finish off from Slump. Didn't get it on the first opportunity, but will on the second. Now this off on the ankle is a serious danger. They're getting stuck out again. Tag no kill. Haven't been able to make it past the ankle. Head down. Head down at this point. No one wants to give Slump another look at this. Bomb's going to get planted, but it's going to be the rifle instead that does the damage. Good trade from Slacks. Ramp goes 1. Back down the ramp. On to Shane. Slacks playing on the smoke fade. A nice bit of maneuvering there from Slacks will earn himself the AWP from off the body of Slump and earn M80 round number 3.
I mean, AK, Hop, Rife, M4, whatever it is for Slacks, he's getting the 3Ks. And Slacks delivering exactly what was needed for M80 in that round. I appreciate the way they played that coming up cat. They knew that Slump was there. Slump unlucky. Look, he gets the leg shot on the first, finishes the job, but then another one afterwards. And by that point, M80 is like, hey, guys, we got 2 players past the angle. Duck down, look down, and crawl your way to the site. And that's exactly what they do. And they get that bomb planted in a fairly strong position. Sure, getting info still managed to get a couple of trades back and forth, but it is Slacks at the end to slam the door in their face. Getting info back to the Pistols.
Deagles this time, though. 5 of them. So maybe the next element of danger in this one. No USPs. You did see how close it got with the USPs. Slump. Feel like we're really starting to see Slump settle in terms of confidence. There were some shakier moments earlier on in this qualifier for getting info, but he's really started to find his footing. First Deagle has been found as well, but nice peek back in for Shane. Plucks Swisher out from the long doors.
Not much defense here towards the A site, Mike, for getting info. They only have 1 player, but that will quickly change as soon as that smoke is tossed.
Trying to rally on it. Lake. The isolated player doesn't want to give up his life. Flashbang through the doors. Lots of deagle shots ringing out. Lake's realizing, okay, they're probably stacked up here. Slacks disposing of the evidence. Getting rid of the guns. And indeed, M80 have realized the score.
That's a great read.
On A.
Yeah, that's a great read from Lake. Realizing that everyone was maneuvering themselves towards that A site. I think for a moment he's maybe trying to draw them and force a rotation, but once he hears them go back into CT instead of B, he just hightails it over to see if it's clear, and it absolutely is. Good shot from Dare.
That's nice.
This is a 4v3, but I think they're just going to be happy getting the upgrade.
I would imagine you got to be careful not to give them too many things.
The op would be scary to lose.
Indeed. There's still the chance to lose the round. Slump's going to see if he can do it. No. So the AK lives. The AK plays safe. The pistols play aggressive. That'll give them something to buy around in the next. But for M80, the worst of it is avoided. And they can just keep this hot start going. Like upgrade. Slacks did get rid of that 1 rifle. Like trying to hunt up the next will be unsuccessful.
Well, you can still use that MAC-10 effectively even in a round like this. Maybe send him hunting a little bit, go up cat. Send someone with him to try and get a trade. Or even just go for a fast play long. See if the MAC-10 can net you anything, and then the rifles are behind it. Amateur off the off of Slacks, and then Lake does get that opener despite being blinded. Swisher behind him onto Shane. The A site's already pretty much lost. Only Snap remains, but he's under so much pressure he's got to get into cover if he wants a chance at this retake.
I don't think he does. I think at this
Doesn't
point,
seem like it.
they want the chance at the save. Bomb's going to get planted.
Snap is trapped.
We'll be locking in this 5th. And dead! So 2 players will be able to very potentially save, though you'd imagine at this point with the bank built up, M80 might be interested in a bit more of an active exit strategy.
Yeah, I think more than a little interested. Slump's still alive. They know the op is up. They don't care if they lose their guns. They're going to go in. Just got to make sure that bomb doesn't get ninja defused, which won't happen. So now those 2 players can run away, and the other 3 can activate on the hunt. They will get some visibility before this round is over. The question is, will they get frags? Yes, they will. They get 1. Slump, does he slip away? Oh, that would be a coup. He does. He gets away. The AWP continues to live on. That even could justify a heavier investment here, Mike, but it looks like it'll be a half investment. So they keep the economy healthy, but still get a respectable buy up here. Keep an eye on Slump. That could be the difference maker in this round, as M80 flood through mid and take up all the space.
Nice opener for Lake. A follow-up as well. And 3 to the name for Lake means this round is already just about all said and done. Slump with the op might just be trying to think about where to hide this. Guy's going to risk sticking around a bit longer, but a smoke in towards door. Will be cleared out.
Jeez. Bulldozing them in this round. Good shot from Slump, but nothing else there. There are just too many bodies to deal with and not enough time. Sin ends the round 6-0 for M80, and a lot of these rounds haven't really been close. You know, getting info can be strong on this map. They did get 4 rounds on their CT side, although it didn't look as bad as this, I would say. Yesterday, they had some more competitive spirit, let's say, in some of these rounds, but M80 are really taking control of the show. There's just some good pace from M80. Oh, what? I thought that was a call-out. It doesn't matter. Dare's going to get a couple here onto Hexton. Lake and the third on Swisher. There we go. Getting info. Do get a bit of life. A lot of it here. Slacks is the last one standing.
Now the big question as well is, can you keep everybody healthy? Right? Because if you're getting info, you desperately want to be able to build on what is a one-round win, and the answer is yes, you can. So not only do you have that rifle round on the board, but you got everything out of it to now try and build. You know you're going to have to do this the hard way. There's plenty of bank built up for M80. The pressure is not going to relent. But you've at least giving yourself a chance for getting info. Now, they can't let this round just get totally isolated. They will have mostly a bank in store, but you need to chain some CT rounds here.
No question. Slacks wants the opener. Hungry for it, can't find it. Snav going to get the immediate shot onto him. Double op is out for getting info. 5v4 just like that. And M80 need to be careful about their next step here. How do they move forward? Going into mid seems to be the answer and taking up that space.
Molotov forces Slump off the angle. Have to give that up. But they look like they want to make their way in towards B. So with the op of Snap instead. Maybe tested here. Marky dancing on the door. Has to back away. Got the smoke down. A little preemptive cover. So through the window they go. Flashbangs good. Snap able to get one, but he doesn't realize they're already out. They've already overwhelmed. And so with this bomb planted, with control still in towards mid, Sin's able to punish on the one. Called him out on the retake. Still for getting info. They can't let this one go. It's too ripe an opportunity. They're not going to expect the player already in towards tunnels. Lake holding line, and Swisher locking them out of the doors on B. It is a round totally and completely isolated. And while they will have a buy available here, courtesy of the 5 Alive, John, this is looking dire.
Yeah, this is something that's been impressive for M80 throughout the entirety of this EPL qualifier, is the fact that they can lose a round, get completely wiped off the board, and then bounce back immediately and look like nothing even happened or nothing even went wrong before in the round prior. Really nicely done. I love that positioning from Lake, by the way. You never expect that on CT side. That's going to be towards the stairs and lower tunnels in a post plant on B as soon as the bomb is planted to boot. Slump gets an opener here. On to Lake. And the follow-up to Dare. Double op out again. Slacks gets the response, but nothing more as Shane catches him getting a little careless.
I mean, to be fair, how would you expect that angle, right? The rifle tucked in towards pit while Dare fights. He's trying to get the aggressive play, trying to get the momentum, and it costs him. Sin dipping his toe in the flames knows that this will be an audio cue. That's knife out for Snav. But Marky's able to trade it. Frag to find. They'll paint it into the corner eventually. That'll be the kill coming through from Sin, and there's a chance to clutch this up. How many bullets in this A1S? Because he might just need every single one. Crosses.
He doesn't smoke?
Tagged. Wanted to save it for the post, but goes ahead and drops it afterwards. Bomb down. Takes in that Molotov.
This is so bold.
He knows Slump's right there. He
it.
needs to isolate out one of these fights. Slump comes back looking for it and ducks around the spray to find the kill with the sidearm. Getting info or staying alive. They're fighting for this. They're brawling for it. It's far from comfortable, but a round win is desperately needed.
I thought Sin had that. I thought that was the play to win the round, but no. The spray goes wide, and Slump pulls out the pistol and finishes the job. So back and forth we go. A little bit of a seesaw ride over the last three. M80 still have plenty of cash. They're dipping into their bank accounts for another full buy. Collected 8 rounds against Getting Info yesterday in their first half T-side. It's looking like it'll be very similar here. However, it could be even better with the way this one's shaping up. But we can't forget that Getting Info actually did get 3 of their 4 CT side rounds yesterday in the last 4 rounds. Slacks fires off a shot there, will fade off. A lot of emphasis in the early round being put towards long for Getting Info, which makes sense because M80 do like to explode out there in that direction. This time, though, the bomb heads to the upper tunnels. M80 are just trying to attract some attention, it seems, Mike. Yes.
Shane was thinking about going through with it. Would have been a huge opportunity. Opts to bail out. That was quite fortunate for M80. No one had eyes on it. Now Slacks will be focused up there, and again the split towards B is coming. He'd pop on the first. Marky looking to find some room to operate. It's Slump who wants to be focused in on towards the tons and forced in towards Hexed. He goes down. Dare traded out 1 for 1 in towards mid. It's all that's the pressure in the world on Marky.
Yeah, that's so much control. Marky probably going to fall here. Oh, the util is wearing him down, and the bullets finish him off. Yeah, Getting Info, Snav, and Shane look at their bank accounts, the amount of rounds on the board, and say this has to be a save.
Shane wants to be a hero.
I think he does, but
it's a little bit of desperation. Yeah, he's snapped out of it. They're starting to feel desperate, right? They're starting to feel like they need one of these impossible rounds to break their way, and that's why you see them giving it a little bit of a look, just to see if an overextension comes, to see if someone gets careless on the M80 side. But without that kill coming through, you have to back away. You got to do it. So at least this ob can live through to the next, but this is a tough spot for Getting Info. They've just completely failed to chain any rounds together. So M80 back to 8, but this time around, John, they're poised to do a whole lot more than just walk out with an 8-4 half.
Oh, yes. Which wouldn't be a bad thing, because their CT side can be a little bit problematic. So if they get 10, 9 or 10, I should say, on their T side, that would certainly help matters. For them, anyway, not for Getting Info. They've got other plans, and they will have a full buy-up around that AWP. Wait, no, Dare decides to go for the MP9 instead in order to get more util. I respect that. He can be very lethal with that MP9. See what Slump can do here. He's going for an aggressive fight. Just takes a shot in the dark, and then another one. Neither connecting. And M80 looking to change up the look here and go to long. But they know that Getting Info has been putting a lot of emphasis in the early round towards long, so they might wait this out a little bit longer And Catch getting info in rotation off. Oh, that's a great flashbang. Dare recovers, but it's not enough. He'll only do damage, and Shane is blocked off by those smokes and could get finished, but Snap supports him, saves his life, although it cost him so much health.
They're a wisp away from death. They're a wisp away from death. This one's so tenuous now. We're getting info. Nades would be disaster trying to find it. The nade pop is ill-timed. Doesn't find any information, and now nobody's up top to be able to fight this. Slump's gonna peer over, but here's those HEs. That's the health coming back to cost them. And looking at the HP bar on Snav, I mean, it stings, but they have to back away. They've got to give this up. It's 9 rounds for M80, and getting info cannot get off their back foot.
It's one of those situations where you have your fangs out, but you can't chomp down. You gotta fall back, and even then, Snav is gone.
He can't get out. He can't get out now.
Yeah, it was a tenuous attempt to save, and Marky cannot get out. Only gets one there. It doesn't matter. M80 doesn't care at all. They've got plenty of cash. They threw all their bodies in that direction. 9th round found. No gun saved through by getting info. Means that this is going to be a dire buy-up to try and prevent M80 from getting into double digits in this first half. I'm surprised they didn't fall back more, though, Mike. I mean, that was an NA save, essentially.
Yeah.
You know, you got to get away from there.
I don't know whether the idea was that they needed a kill to be able to get Marky out or what it was, but getting info, clearly starting to feel the pressure. That's a nice way to start. Especially down for the count. As you look to go for a pick out long. Taking advantage of the extra money here. A walkthrough from Lake, and Slump is familiar with that maneuver. Good damage out from the scout. This one's looking a lot more viable. Sin low, Slacks tagged up. That makes these MP9s a lot more effective. They don't have any util, but if Dare can pluck one, especially if it's the healthy Hex, they make their way on in. He can't do that. So this now becomes tougher. It's a retake required with very little to show for it. No kit, certainly. But a fast flank from Snap. This might be ahead of their timing. When does Sin snap around? He doesn't. That's the problem. Now exposed. Op shots ringing out. Slacks knows he has to survive. Damage on desperation here. They are encircled. And the lapse of awareness for M80 might have just cost them a double-digit round. Tap on the bomb. Swing on out. Op, not the gun you want in that engagement. It all falls to Hex. 25 seconds to try and get this done. Dancing on the edge of the smoke on a knife's edge. It's finally a round for getting info, and they've got something to take into the half. Back in for what could be the final half of this qualifier. Just 4 runs stand between M80 and another trip to the ESL Pro League.
It's a lot, though, Mike. Sometimes that can be the hardest step to take.
Very true. Very true. Getting Info did manage to find that final round, going back and forth over the last 6. To give themselves something to work with here. Marky, though, working with a lot. Slacks looked good for it. But it's an advantage for Getting Info as this bomb gets planted. He says a smoke and dualies. Got Sin from up top, who might need to clear some space for his new teammate to actually get involved in this. Marky's going very deep in towards long. He cannot help his teammates, at least on the initial foray. Peek out from Goose. A dance around the grain barrels. Hex should know where this last player is coming from. And Marky swinging up, but he will make good on his position.
Yeah, known or not, Marky delivers 3K on the round. There's the pistol for Getting Info and a 4th on the board. This is exactly the way it started out yesterday for Getting Info's T side. They look so much more convincing. They've got more confidence coming on that T side of Dust2. And it's the opposite for M80 on their CT side. Less confidence going into it. They will get that force buy. Those scouts are out. Swisher not rocking it, but Slacks is. Marky, good flash. They don't get anything off of it. Not even sure they're going to go towards the long more than that. Slacks gets the tag, but it's through the door, so Slump's still around half health and getting into a smoke off the door, and that will go up Cat. Swisher, along with Sin, decide to back off and just throw the smoke to delay things.
They bunch 4 players through here, so Getting Info recognizing that possibility. You're going to start to work some space tunnels. I may be really committed to this. But split B smoke thrown. The question is this a fake? Or do Getting Info, as they're showing right now, double their efforts up catwalk? With the space in towards mid now, it's got to be too tempting. Yeah, re-smoke on. Bomb's going to start to follow. They've got the right read. For a moment, it looked like they were going to walk into the Lion's jaws. Instead now, find itself toothless. Next, at least can make some noise about this. It's only the 1 casualty so far. Shane and Slump are super low.
Yeah, but somewhat unconfirmed. And even if it was confirmed, Slacks and Swisher don't have an appetite for this, especially considering Swisher's got the Galil grabbed off the ground in a round that was a force buy, let's not forget. So they want to keep these pieces into the next one to give themselves a fighting chance.
Another tag. Slacks low himself will tuck in. Should keep them from hunting. Slump is looking for it. Slump is looking for it, and Slump will meet his demise. Does Marky want to risk this? Gonna swing. Spotted. Ankle spot and execution out from Swisher. So they hold on to the 2 guns. And actually, with those kill rewards, there might be a little bit more they can put behind this one. You'd imagine Slacks wants to save towards the op, but Swisher could drop a deagle.
Yeah?
Or
I don't know.
5-7.
Yeah, I don't know if they want to invest too heavily, though, because that utility will be so much more valuable in the next round.
Sure.
And saving the money for that is more important, and that's what they do.
Getting a little frisky here up middle with the scout. Not gonna land a shot. Now there's a lot of bodies here, but Swisher's gonna try and keep his scout alive. And Lake behind them. Oh my goodness. That one drop 5-7 pays back in spades. And now this might just be a disaster, though. Marky tries to bail them out of it. He's down to 6. The bomb is in the grasp of their opponents, and Hex is out of the tunnels. So there's a timer on this. All he's going to need is 1 long-range tap, and that's an execution. And there it is. Marky gone. Slump to follow. The saved scout, the Galil, and 1 dropped 5-7, and M80 find double digits.
That is the luxury of a lighter buy with a couple of guns saved through. You can make bold, risky calls like that one. Send them both up mid, the Galil and the Scout. And it's actually Lake who capitalizes on both frags with the 5-7. As you mentioned, that drop 5-7 ends up getting the frags, but it's the damage up front. It's the attention that Swisher and Slacks attracted that allows for that to happen, and they just bottle getting info up at top mid. That could be what breaks getting infos back here, because that was the round where they thought they'd be comfortable, where they thought they could build something up, but it's not. AK and a Scout available. It's a force buy back here for getting info. They've already lost the first to Slacks' AWP. Shane has slipped through that smoke into mid. This could lead to something unless Slacks finds him, which he does. And now he's watching. They got the smoke out now, but that's a little late.
Nade pop on that. Slacks can capitalize. Lake as well. And this one coming towards a fast conclusion. Slump trying. That's actually one heck of a tag. A follow-up on it. But at this point, the cavalry is going to be here. Slump.
Get a bomb plant, maybe.
Can you find magic? Problem is, as he does, timing on that flashback actually got a little rough, but Lake still figures out where the bomb is going. It's crazy that the knock-on effect from this is a yeet push up middle with a save scout, a 5-7, and Galil, and that might just be the round that secured M80's path into Pro League.
They just needed one of those. They just needed one, and they got it. Given the fact they got 9 rounds in that first half of action, one thing breaks your way, and then you've got getting in for either forcing or going for an eco, and a couple of rounds will snowball you in your favor. Here, wants to find something, gets nada. Slacks watching the double doors long, finds the opening frag again. He has been everywhere for M80. And now a smoke thrown as well. Snav, I think he wants to, oh, thought he might want to try and push it and get a quick deagle shot off, but decides better. Slump. Rattles off a couple of his own. He pushes in, and Slacks is right there again, saying, I'm everywhere, boys. I don't care where you go.
Snav, next moth to the flame. And he'll be burned.
Jeez, yeah.
Incinerated. Nothing out of this round. It was slim, but at this point, 7 rounds required to fight for overtime, assuming this one goes the way it seems destined to. They're all going to be slim chances.
Even that's a disciplined play from Sin in the end as they get the last 2 on Marky and Shane. He sees them coming through. Could have gone for an aggressive fight and been hungry for ecos and pad his stats a little bit, but instead just tucks himself down and says, okay, I'll wait for the reinforcements to arrive, and then they're going to get overloaded, and then I can pop up and do the rest of the damage, and that's exactly what happens. So very, very well done from M80. Disciplined play, and this is a very different picture now as they need one more to qualify for their 5th consecutive season of Pro League. Great flashbang for getting info, though. They're trying not to be done, but Swisher, he's got other plans. He wants to find that 13th opener onto Dare. Slacks hits the shot. Swisher, actually, no, Swisher to finish it, and Lake gets slumped as well. Mike, it's all going the way of M80.
Still on, though. Late kill from Shane keeps the possibility working their way. But M80 looking to book their ticket back to the ESL Pro League, and it all falls to Shane to try and deny. Lake right up on the corner will swing in, and Mason has done it. Lake confirms the spot. M80, no doubt right now, no doubt in their minds. They're making their way back 5 seasons in a row.